Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am Denny Moss. I am your favorite respiratory therapist of 18 years. I reside in Houston, Texas, where I work at a level 1 acute care facility and been there since 2008. Yeah, I'm that girl. So if you want some good respiratory content for somebody who knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about, and have a YOE, which is years of experience, that will be me. So please use me as your resource. Please use me as somebody you can come to, you can send a message to, but I won't get that message unless you comment, subscribe, share the video, y'all. Please engage so if other RTs who are future RTs or who are already RTs can come to this community where we get together and we talk about everything respiratory. Okay, so welcome here, and we're gonna talk about I wanted to go back to 2008 to 2025, which is current. I want to talk about the comparison to both because I've been here for so long and I just feel like things need to be talked about. Okay, I know where I came from, I know where I'm at today, so I really want to break it down to y'all how different respiratory is now versus back when I started when I was like 22, 23 years old. All right, now hear me out. This can get really intense because I'm going to talk about how the MBRC used to make us do our exams and how we used to get how our accredited universities used to work, right? So back in 2008, we had 3 exams. We had the CRT, the written registry, and the written clinical sims, right? So we had to take those 3 exams. But because I went to a 4-year university, we had to take those exams a year. So we had 1 year to learn respiratory, all this academia, 1 year, y'all. So after we did our 1 year, in between our little winter break and spring break, you had to be fully registered. So you had about 4 months. I kid y'all not. Y'all think y'all stressed? This was so stressful. You had 4 months to complete your registry. You have to be a respiratory therapist, a RRT, a registered respiratory therapist, and you have to have your license before you graduate. Now I know it's totally different. Now I hear you can graduate from respiratory school, and then after that you take your MBRC, your credentials, and you get everything then. So I just want to compare. I don't know if you can, but do y'all know how stressful it was to learn everything in a year? I'm talking about 3 semesters. Like, we had to learn everything in 3 semesters. That was brutal. I had no clubbing time. I had no family time. I barely had me time. I was like so stressed. Everything that I lived, sleep, ate, and breathe was respiratory. So I'm so glad now that it's not like that. I'm sure the workload is still very much so heavy, but the pressure of getting everything in your head and then sitting for an exam was heavy. It was so heavy. And because I was set up like that, going to a major university, I think with clinicals back in 2008, everybody was willing to accept a respiratory therapist student because we were fully registered. Like, once we walked through the door, our license really relied on us and not anybody else. So that made RTs want to precept us even more, because like, once I teach you this, girl, I don't have to do anything. You mean to tell me you started here in April working as a respiratory therapist and you graduate in August? Yeah, I don't have to do anything after I teach you that? Okay. So they were willing to accept students, but now you guys have preceptors that are pretty much your professors. So, and 9 times out of 10, they work where they're teaching you, right? So now it's pretty relaxed. You have an opportunity to say, you know what, today I don't want to engage as much, versus when I was a student, we had to, like, we couldn't say, no, I don't want to learn how to do an ABG. What do you mean? You already have a license. You need to learn how to do an ABG. Or I don't want to assist in intubation. Like, what do you mean? You have a license, you have to assist in intubation. Now you can say, you know what, I'm just gonna help and do this and do that. But what I prefer students today to do is be more hands-on. If there is an ABG, ask your professor, your clinical instructor, say, hey, can I do the ABG today? Or can you call around to see which RTs is gonna have an ABG in our building? Because we have plenty, we're respiratory, right? So be more proactive, be more responsive, be more engaging, because this is where you make your mistakes. You make them while you're in school, so that way you won't make them. I'm not saying that you won't have any mistakes, but you'll make them while somebody is watching you. Okay, so definitely be more engaging now in today's 2025 respiratory student, because you will have a ball in the end. It will really work in your favor. Okay, the next thing I want to just discuss, because this needs to be talked about. I don't think this is talked about enough, and I don't think in reality we really specify like the money we made back in 2009. I remember working from, I told y'all, as a student but still registered, from April all the way to September. I got hired September 11th. So yes, I got hired at new grad pay, but y'all, 1 month I looked at my paycheck and my pay jumped. It was substantial. And I went to my manager. I'm like, oh my God, did I get a raise? She was like, yeah, you got a raise. Just because you was a student here, you still had to interview, blah, 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 blah. Y'all want to know how much I got paid? So I got paid $22.75. I started at that facility September making $22.75, and I was a full-time respiratory therapist at night. And because I worked at night, of course you have, that was my base pay, but of course you have all these other differentials. So I had night shift pay, and I think our night shift pay was between $4 to $6 at that time. So it was 22 plus the extra $4 to $6, and then you get shift differential, so like weekends, so we got an extra 2 on top of that. So we got anywhere between $4 to $7 on top of our $22.75. But when I got my increase I think they bumped me up to $25. That was a significant jump in 3 months. Now, today, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think our new grads at our facility make anywhere from 32 to 35 an hour. And 9 times out of 10, if they work at our facility, because it's so big and we need so many people, I think we have 100 and plus RTs, they will put you on night shift. And that's a lot of money. Talking about humble beginnings. And they do the same thing. If you were a student worker, meaning you couldn't really do anything but floor treatments, which is it's not bad. You know, you're still working. They will bump you up too really quick. So yeah, I made a good $22.75 when I started working. It was life-changing. Okay, at that point it was life-changing, and I'm just so glad that the pandemic came in and turned that around and got our pay up a little bit higher. So now it's market adjustment. But if you find that you are in 2025 not getting what you pay, stay at that facility for 6 months and then jump to another facility. Your pay will go up drastically, because they pay you for years of experience. But always jump around so that way your pay can go up. That is the cheat code to how you get paid more money. Okay, I don't think we can get through any type of healthcare content if we don't discuss burnout. Burnout is very real for respiratory, and I just want to say, if you do experience burnout, if you're a respiratory therapist and you are experiencing burnout, please go get therapy. Please talk to your managers, your supervisor. HR administration do have little places that you can go and you can talk to them about it. But if you are experiencing burnout, please take it seriously, because that can really affect you mentally. And if you're not 100%, you can't give your patients anything. So if you are experiencing burnout, please discuss it with whoever you work with, because it's really important. But I want to talk about patient workload. I remember going into work. I can go into work 5 days a week. Now, hear me out. Nurses were never allowed to work 5 days straight. Respiratory, all we had to do was get a manager approval, right? That's how much I would go to work sometimes, okay? Because I did experience patient burnout. Patient burnout came after the pandemic, and we started getting those heavy workloads. It's like, oh my God, are these patients more sick, or are we just getting more patients? And I still to this day can't figure out which one it is. Either way, it causes us to experience burnout. And I just want to tell y'all, in 2008-9, there was no such term as burnout. Now it is. So always make sure you're taking care of your mental health. And I want to stress that so much, because you know, it's a part of what we do. You're going into a place where you're in charge of a person's life. So just take care of yourself, so that way you can take care of others. Y'all want me to tell y'all my age, because y'all know I am the elder RT, okay? I'm the elder RT. Let's talk about documentation. When I started, y'all, do y'all know I went to a facility? It was University of Texas Medical Branch Hospital down in Galveston, and that's the school I went to, y'all. So when we went in there, do y'all know they still had paper charting when I started? Yeah, they had paper charting when I started. Oh my God. And I never felt like, this is nothing. This is nothing. Paper chart, oh, that's fine. Let me put his vitals down. Let me write this down. Let me write my little notes down. Y'all, now we have iPhones. Hence the reason why I will always wear my blue light lenses, my prescription or whatever. Always wear them, because now you pack an iPhone everywhere. So in 2025, be proud that we have upgraded not only to charting on the computer, but having a phone. Because do y'all know how difficult it is to get to work and have to fight for your life for a computer? They call it a wow. We used to call it computer on wheels, but somebody got offended. Don't know who did, but we had to stop calling it, and then we call it workstation on wheels. I think I talked about that in my last video. But now that we have these are my favorite, because I started with paper charting. Be proud, okay? So now we're gonna stay on a consistent path. Like, what do I love about 2008 versus 2025? Like, what stayed consistent to me? And I think the one thing that I really love about it is that at our facility, when you are a new grad, you cannot get hired on PRN, supplemental, or part-time. And I love that, because when you're a new grad, you need to be there learning everything there is, everything that's possible for you to learn. You need to learn it within the first 2 years. And in order to do that, you have to be consistent. And consistency matters when you first start. So I say that because to go to PRN, right? So PRN, you could work 2 days a week, you could work 4 days a week, you could work 1 day, you could either skip a week. You're not consistently learning as a new grad. It's only become like oh, I can be PRN. Like I haven't worked the past week and a half, right? But for me, and I have those years of experience, when I go back to work, it's like riding a bike because I've been doing it so long. But when you are a new grad, you don't have that experience. So everything seems to start over, and you seem to battle with, what am I doing? Am I doing this right? Or last time I was here, I don't remember if I did this or that, right? So the one thing that I really love that stay consistent is not hiring new grads as PRN baddies. Wait till your third year. Oh, and just a little advice: if you are hired on, do not go to day shift. Go straight to nights. Nights will give you that experience that you really need. Nights, I feel like nights made me confident. Nights made me humbled, and like nights, I had like new things that would happen, and it was just like, okay, well, come on, let me show you, because everybody, you don't have the family in there, the visiting hours are over. So it's just like they're in there teaching you, you're in there learning, you're like a little sponge at that time. So definitely go to nights. I know some of y'all are gonna frown upon it, but hey, it's more money and the experience is top tier. I guarantee you. And sometimes you won't even want to come off nights anyway. It took me a long time to come off of nights, and I enjoyed it, especially as my first couple years. Like, always do that. Go to night shift. If they have a day, okay, cool, but make sure you go to nights. It's a different environment. So thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all like my comparison and going back in time into 2008. And if you love this channel, please put a like, a thumbs up, and please, 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 please recommend this and share this to any RTs, or if you're on the fence. I hope I can inspire you to sway respiratory. Like, are you kidding me? This profession is so lit. I don't see how y'all are on the fence about it. This profession is lit, okay? So yeah, come back for more. I'll see y'all later.